exists. So without a proper sewage system, this situation is going to continue. It is difficult to say, now start building new toilets. But the UN has some guidelines on how to improve this environment. First, ensure that you channel your drains. They might be, just ensure that they are not exposed. Control them in such a way that there's a system that at least empties out this wastewater. Wastewater including human waste, your domestic use, water and all of that. Ensure that there's a way to channel them out of your environment. That's the first step. The next step is, let's say, for areas where people don't even have toilet facilities, how about the government comes in, or with some initiatives, in order to reduce open defecation, provide public toilets in some of these areas. It will reduce open defecation, because yes, you can talk about the drains from individual houses, but open defecation you can't control, because you don't decide where the person decides to, take a go. So you ensure that if you have public toilets, and of course subsidize, because in the environment it's mostly about the urban poor. So paying for some of these services, if they are too pricey, might be difficult. Your goal is to reduce sanitation issues, so you have to make it as affordable as possible. So provide public toilets, right? Now, aside that, we can also try to ensure that people don't have to live in slums. We talked about it earlier, plan for people.
Yeah.
But then, what is the policy on slums in Nigeria? For years, we've heard governments announce urban renewal programs. They come in, build one road, and urban renewal has been done. You have to improve these environments. You don't, at the moment, we have a housing deficit of about 28 million houses in Nigeria. Yeah. And that was some data about a year or two ago. You can't, at the moment, provide 28 million houses. The budget for this year for housing is a paltry sum of about, I think, 250 or 500 billion. To break it down into the number of houses that can build, even with the Renewed Hope initiative, means that it will take us centuries to bridge the gap we currently have. So, but this is the housing these people have now. You can't talk about chasing them because there's no other option. So improve the current environment they're in. Bring in the facilities they need. Possibly with what we call integration. You can integrate some of these settlements, ensuring that they meet some criteria, ensure that they have access and all that, and grant title. It's been done in other parts of the world. And an interesting study, Habitat International did a study on a slum and saw that for every $1 the government invested, the residents invested $8. So for every one, it was a ratio of 1 to 8. So if the government brought in $1 to improve the environment, the people themselves brought in $8. And why? They had security of tenure. Because, as I said earlier, some people will build with the envisioning that in 5 years I might lose this. So I'm not going to build anything permanent, because I know that yes, I'm not having title to this land. So I have to build with the mindset that I might leave soon. But when you know you have title, some people will by themselves bring down their houses. Everyone knows what is good. But sometimes you do what you can do. And the government has failed its citizens, the urban residents, by not providing for their housing. Now they have tried to help themselves. The only thing government can do is improve the current stock, while it is finding ways to ensure that it doesn't continue the mistake it is making now. So first, what is the slum upgrade plan for Nigeria? Because we know that at least 70%, 60 to 70% of urban residents are not living in planned areas. They are living in slums. So if you have a majority of your population in urban areas living in slums, it tells you that there's a failure and something has to be done. So we are calling on the government to ensure that there's a plan to eradicate slums. Countries have done it. Morocco has done it. I think Egypt has had large success to it. We can borrow from what they've done and improve our slums.
Thank you so much, Town Planner Samson Olusegun, for that enlightening. You really elaborated on the possible solutions from the government to the people. Awareness is very important for the people, and the government needs to plan. Thank you so much. You even get into my next question. I wanted to ask Town Planner Theophilus about examples of countries that have tackled these same challenges, and he has already started mentioning some of the countries.
Yeah.
So I would like for you to elaborate on that. So are there examples of cities, even in Nigeria or countries globally, that have tackled this crisis? And what lessons can the FCT and Abuja learn from these examples?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I would like to come at this question at the angle of mitigation. We already know that this sewage already exists within this settlement. It's something that is already happening. So it's to